All right, so we got ourselves these intervals here, and they are very easy to complete if you follow sort of the instructions. However, they're also very difficult to get correct if you're not paying attention to all three characteristics of color. So hue, saturation, and value are all very important when we're working on these. So the first thing we need to do is sort of look at our color wheel here, and we see these two up here, warm analogous and cool analogous. And the very definition of warm and cool when we're working on the additive wheel, and it is the wheel we'll be working on, are that anything north of this line here between 90 and 270 here, anything above that is going to be a warm color, with red being the warmest color. Anything below is going to be cool, with cyan being the coldest or coolest color that we have. So those four marks are pretty important there. 270 and 90 are the cutoffs for warm and cool, and then cyan and red are sort of the markers or the middle points of their respective halves of the color wheel. So when we talk about it being a hot color or relatively hot, it's closer to red. So when I talk about in a minute I'll mention that it's relatively cool, it means that it's farther from red or closer to cyan. So that's the first step, is finding where on the color wheel we're working. So actually I can leave that right there and just click there. Okay, so we're in Illustrator here, but the same basic idea applies to Photoshop. So first thing we want to do is warm analogous. Analogous means within 60 degrees of each other in our class. There are, the definition's loose, but 60 degrees seems to be pretty universal as far as what qualifies as adjacent on the color wheel. So 60 degrees, or 60 on the H slider. Now I mentioned that red was the hottest color, so I'm going to go pretty close to red. We'll do like 345 or so. There we go. And you'll see that it does auto adjust a little, but that's fine. So then 345, and then 60 less than that is what? 285? Okay, so there we go. There's our parent hues. We'll do cool next. I don't know, 110, 110, 120, sure. 120 is pretty warm. It gets close to that 90 degree, but it's still 30 degrees away. And then 180 would be the cyan, or the 60 degree mark away. Cyan would be 60 degrees away, so we're good there. So those are our two hues. Now, I mentioned a minute ago that you need to make sure that your hue, saturation, and value all line up with color depth. So hue, warmer color over here, cooler color over here, that's good. Saturation, right now they're all fully saturated, so we need to come in and we need to start desaturating our submissive color. Okay, so I'm going to come in like so, and I see now I've got bright on this side, dull on this side, warm on this side, cool, relatively cool on this side. So that's a good start. Now we know that dark colors tend to recede and light colors tend to advance, so we now need to go in and darken these colors here. So if I come in with something like this, really drop the S and B sliders down, should be good. If we come in here and look at this cyan, darken it really dark, should be good there. So those are going to be good parent colors, okay? What that means is that when we come into our blend, we'll have a nice interval where on this side the color is light, bright, and warm. On this side it's dark, dull, and cool. To get there, just to reiterate, we go up to Object, Blend, Blend Options, and we make sure that it's on Specified Steps. I think the default is Smooth Color, but Specified Steps, and 5. And the reason we want 5 is because there are 5 squares in between our ends, right, between our parent colors. So we click on there. And then I just like to hit the W key on my keyboard because that selects the blend tool, and then make sure nothing is selected here. Tap, tap. Okay. Click on the background with the black arrow tool. W, tap, tap. And now those are done. Light, bright, warm, dark, dull, cool.